Well, today is the big day. We're getting ready now for our MOT. We're going to be shooting off in about half an hour. Get the results of all of our hard work. Wish me luck. Okay, so we've got down to the MOT station. There was a awful noise coming from the near side front wheel. I don't know whether it's something caught in the brake assembly, so I live on a gravel drive, or maybe a wheel bearing or something, but the guy's going to have a look at it anyway. And if that's all it fails on, that's going to be a bonus, but hopefully it'll be something easy that we can fix on site here now. Let's have a look. Here we go. Now he's up in the air. He's working on the underside of the car. He hasn't been scratching his head or making lots of notes, so it looks quite positive at the moment. Okay, so we took the vehicle for its MOT and unfortunately it failed. Now I'm not going to lie to you guys because it's public knowledge. The reason it failed, we had a nut loose on suspension, which is beggars belief. Track rod end nuts not tight enough. One of the rear wheels, the wheel bearing was making a little bit of noise. Which he wanted to try and get dealt with. He didn't think it would actually last. And two flexi brake pipes at the front. He wanted those replacing. It was basically because although the pipe itself, the flexi pipe, is sound, the metal ends, the banjo ends, and the part that goes into the brake pipe are severely corroded. Again, where this car stood in water, I think. So more for me for actually just considering the rubber pipe, the general condition of it meant that it's actually a fail. So fair play, we're going to do that. And then there was a big lesson learned today. Don't cover your work to the extent that the MOT tester can't actually establish what's actually been done. The amount of rust and welding that was done on this front end, my MOT tester is aware of how much was done on there, and basically feels that he can't hand on heart say that what has been done is sound, because I've covered it up. So he's asked for a little bit more work to be done there, and I don't blame him on reflection. So note to self, if you're doing a large amount of welding, leave it so that they can actually see what's been done and gauge your work. Admittedly, if it's just a little tiny plate that needs to be done, and I mean, it's up to you. You want to put a little bit of something over it, then that's fine. But if it's extensive work, then you need to show your merit basically, and let them see what you've actually achieved. So I'm going to be tackling that in the next couple of days. I'll try and do a video for you of the work that's actually been completed underneath when it's all been finished. And that will probably happen once I actually get an MOT, because I'm against it on the clock here at the moment. I want to try and get it done before the end of July, because I'll soon maybe going back to work. There you go. So speak soon. Well, great success. We have an MOT on the car. Had to do a little bit of extra welding on it, and one or two little nuts and bolts needed tightening up, and just incidental stuff really, but considering the amount of work that was on the car, it's a bonus really, the amount of work we had to do to get the ticket. However, and here's the thing to learn, the MOT is only a certificate to say that the car is passable to the testing standards at the point when the car is tested. I took it home, called in at the petrol station on the way back, thinking tomorrow I could spend a day driving around in it, take the good wife out for a drive roof down, put £30 worth of petrol in it, not diesel. My Jag's a diesel, this is petrol. Only to find out when I got home I got a steady trickle of fuel coming out onto my gravel drive. Not a pleasant smell, not a pleasant sight, and it's not something I'm going to be able to fix. The hole's quite bad. I think there's several of them in there. So I've managed to acquire a second-hand tank. Thank you to Daniel Fuller for that. I really appreciate it. And we're now going to try and fit the tank. Let's have a look. Now it's worth pointing out that you cannot siphon from the tank on the Corsa, so you've got to find an alternative way. And for me, it's going to be coming in through the top here to drain out £30 worth of fuel. whatever's left of it, and we'll be putting that in the wife's car. So we're going to remove the sender or the tank access panel, stick a pipe in there and use a siphon tool to get the fuel out, and then we're going to tackle it from underneath. So here's a little something. Right, so the pipes on the top of the fuel sender and pump assembly are held on from an OE equipment with a little clip that looks like this. So you can see there's a small tab that's actually pressed together with that. And when you're staring down the barrel of that, it's quite a frightening thing to think, how on earth am I going to get that removed? Try cutting it, things like that. Well, obviously you can damage the pipes, but the simple thing is you put a screwdriver under this edge here and flick this up, and that will actually spring it clear, like that. Now the unfortunate thing for these is they are well, once they've been used, that is it, it's bin fodder. So you will need to replace your circlips with new ones. So what we've done is we've removed the pipes, we've removed the sender assembly, obviously disconnecting the battery first, and then that ring, we've actually spun that ring anti-clockwise, just a little bit of a tap, a little nug in here, put a drift in there, give it a tap that way, and it'll just turn round a little bit, and then you'll find that this is now free. That's your locking ring. Okay, so it's taken me a couple of hours and I've managed to get the tank out of the car. Just a little tip for you, you'll see if you're looking at the back of my car, it's at a bit of a jaunty angle. Driver's side up as high as we can actually get it. I've dropped the rear exhaust box at the back. That allows the exhaust to move just a little bit, very gently. And what we've done is, if we've got the car high enough on the driver's side, is to feed the tank over the top of the exhaust system and pull it out driver's side. All right. My wife's benefited to the tune of 30 quid's worth of fuel. Lucky her. But I now stink of fuel and petrol, and odour 4-star is not very nice. I've tidied everything up. We haven't got any rust underneath all of that. The tank itself is quite nice, quite well put together. No damage or rust on the new tank that's going in. I might be inclined to give it a coat of something, try and give it a bit of protection moving forward, maybe put some paint on it. But I'm going to be fitting that tank in the morning because I've had enough today. And tomorrow's going to be a hot day. So speak soon. Bye-bye. Well, it's arguably the hottest day of the year today, and we managed to get the tank back up. It's now all actually in place. One tip for you, you're going to need a selection of Jubilee clips, and I tried the local motorist centre and without much help. Up here there's about 3 or 4 different types of Jubilee clip. There's a couple on the top, at least 3 sizes on the front edge, leading edge of the vehicle, the tank. I went to Screwfix. I picked up an assorted bag of 60, and that cost me £14.99, which I thought was a bargain. So anyway, I've just got to tighten everything up and make sure that none of the bits and pieces come anywhere near that exhaust, and then we should be good to put the fuel back in. There we go. Now you need to make sure that all your cables and your pipes aren't fouled, creased or pressed together, and we should be all ready to go. Quite pleased with that. It's taken me a while, but a selection of spanners, no special tools, job done. Well, it's all bolted up and we've now got a couple of gallons of fuel in it, so I'm not been stupid enough to fill the thing back up again, but I needed obviously to ensure that we got no leaks. Had the car running for about 20 minutes, there's nothing coming out, there's no leaks at the top underneath the seat, no leaks underneath, no horrible smells of fuel, so that's a success on that one. As I said before, seems a bit of a daunting task, but if you've got the product, got the item, the bit of kit you want to fit, and a few tools and a bit of time, It's very doable. It's doable at home without a major expense. It's just really a question of taking your time and thinking things through. Haynes manual does help, but what I have found is, although this particular video is predominantly regarding my Corsa, the tips, skills and ideas would bear relevance to any other car. I've been watching a few of the other ones out there, notably Nick's Garage UK. He's rebuilding a Metro. Quite a lot of tips there on bodywork and stuff. There's one out there on the Morris Minor, so they're stripping engines down and working on things like that, panel forming and the rest of it. So have a scoot around some of the other channels that are out there. Don't just go with a narrow field just searching for one thing. You might find that there's something out there that will give you a little bit of inspiration, a little bit of help, and with a tweak or a left side step might actually help you achieve what you're trying to achieve on your car. So you know what the rules are. If you like what you see, you press subscribe. If you'd like to leave a comment, I really would appreciate it. Don't ridicule me about the fact the car failed its MOT. I'm not a professional, but I was quite pleased with what we actually managed to achieve there. Comments greatly appreciated, and subscribe. And outside of that, I'll be looking forward to having a chat with you in the next video. Speak soon. Bye-bye.